Hello, my loves. It's me, Asia, the Soulful Creatrix, and I'm back with more tarot decks to review. I love getting the chance to review tarot decks. I also review oracle decks. If you have a deck that you want to see up close and personal and see how I would work with it, feel free to drop it in the comments and I will get it onto the site. Today's deck is the Light Seers Tarot. This is an actual tarot deck. I have no idea who made this deck. I've looked through everything. I looked through the little book that came with. There is nothing in here, but it does let you know that if you have any problems to contact them first. I don't know who I would be contacting, and that's what is kind of special about this deck. The other thing that I like about this deck is that if you turn over the box, there is a QR code, and I found out that that QR code gives you this book as well as other books from other decks. If you're missing a book from one of your decks, maybe you need to get this deck, get the QR code on the back, and maybe you can find the book, the guidebook that goes with your deck there. Which leads me to one of the first things about this deck that you are going to find out if you buy this deck right away, is that it comes in kind of a flimsy box, and the book is not only kind of flimsy, but it is also super tiny. So those of us getting up there in our 40s, this is hard to do, right? I normally either put on some glasses, right? You got to put on your readers, or you're going to have to do what I do, which is take a picture, the caption if you need it, and then, expand that picture. Or, like I said, go on the back and get your book in a PDF format, and then you can see everything. Outside of that, I have no real problems at all with this deck. I absolutely loved working with this deck. I love in the present working with this deck. Look at the colors. Look at the vibrancy. Look at that imagery. This is some awesome imagery. The artist, who I do not know who this artist is, but the artist did amazing work in interpreting the different symbols of the tarot. Look at this one. We all know Four of Swords, time to rest, time to regenerate, time to recuperate. The way that this deck goes for me is awesome. I get awesome imagery, symbols, messages. And I feel like when I'm using this deck, I can use it both for males and female energy. Sometimes I have some decks that I feel like I can only use on more feminine energy. This deck, I feel like it works well for male and female energy. So this is a typical 78 card tarot deck. It uses Pentacle, Sword, Wand, cups for its minor arcana. It uses the typical tarot for the major arcana. There are no real surprises there. I will say that this is a more positively leaning deck. So when you are looking at some of the more of the negative sounding cards, this deck will go and create a more of a positive sound with them. I know when I pull out like a death card, for example, or a devil card, sometimes that can scare a client, but this deck gives you the cards in a more palatable way. So, for example, this would be the Eight of Swords, and the Swords cards in this deck are all crows. There's no real violent imagery in this deck, which, if you're like me, you're very emotional, very tied to how those emotions work, you're a highly sensitive person. Swords may not be the type of imagery that you're trying to work with. This deck gives you crows. So like this would be the Eight of Swords, but it's crows. Typically, you would see the crows flying around in the deck. The Death and Rebirth card, like I mentioned. This card does not look as scary as a lot of the death cards look, and they include the infinity sign with rebirth, letting you know that the death card is also about rebirth. One door closes, another door opens. You cannot get to your rebirth without that death. There's the Devil card. Come on, wouldn't you want that as the devil? No, he looks really tempting. He looks really tempting. I feel like this is someone I may want to know. But yeah, so that would be your Devil card. And then of course the Tower card, which in a lot of other decks may feel daunting when you get this card, or when you pull this card for one of your clients and they get the Tower card. It may feel like, oh hells no, let me go ahead and close this down right now. This card as a Tower card is that shake the table card. Something new is going to happen. You've got your butterfly imagery, right? You got to close out that cocoon to get to that next stage as the butterfly, right? So this card, you know, the way that they pull the cards that are sometimes negative sounding to your clients, or cards that your clients may have already come into the reading feeling like they don't want any of these cards. This deck allows you to have these cards and have the real conversation that you need to be having with your clients. The guidebook, like I said, tiny writing, but you know, once you get past the tiny writing, it is actually very helpful. It gives you a light seer and a shadow seer reading. So if when you read your cards in reverse or read your cards upright, it also gives you great affirmations that you can work with. If you are, you know, working with affirmations, for example, for the Emperor, I lead the circumstances in my world with confidence, harmony, and generosity. I feel like these affirmations that are given in the guidebook are helpful, and they allow you to kind of focus your intentions in the steps that you're trying to take going forward once you get that reading. The book also has like a way to connect with your cards. A lot of these books, you know, the guides and those that create the cards will give you some spreads. Here's the Calling in Love, the Light Worker, the Soul Joy spread. So I like that. I love trying to find new spreads. I tend to stick with my 3-card spread for myself and when I'm doing readings for others, but there are other spreads that you can use, and they allow you to grow, maybe be more open, a deeper message in your readings. As per the usual, I am going to go ahead and give a reading, a semi-reading, a quasi-reading, a teeny tiny reading that I would possibly have used with these cards. We're going to call on our ancestors, our higher guides, those who have our highest and best purpose at heart, to provide us with a reading using these Light Seer deck. I typically will shuffle. Now, I've been working with this deck now for, you know what, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I want to say 6 months. It could be a year. I have no idea, because honestly, this is April 2024, and time really has kind of shifted for me to where I don't really know, you know, how the time works. Some people like to do their spread like this and pull out the 3 cards. I'm going to try that today for you guys. All right, here are 3 cards. Our first card being the Page of Swords. Second card, the Queen of Pentacles. We love the Queen of Pentacles, guys. And a reversed 7 of Swords. Okay, so first off, what I'm seeing is a message of positivity as well as a message of warning here with the 7 of Swords. The Page of Swords, definitely about learning new things. And I feel like this could definitely have been a message possibly for me, like always. How they are always for me when I'm doing these type of videos. I get it. I'm down with it. I understand that. So this saying, keep learning, stay true to who I am, be the type of person, and I am the type of person who will continuously learn. Right now I'm learning like 4 new subjects. I get it. I'm constantly learning. The PhD wasn't going to stop me from now. You're always learning. There's a step, you have your process, and your next step, and your next step, and your next step. So this right here, continuous learning, continuous inventiveness, continuously reinventing and relearning and getting new ideas. The light bulbs, see there? And as I showed you before, no actual swords. This one, actually, you can tell, is a positive card. With a bit of warning, right, as she steps across a very tiny cliff. She could have just jumped it, but she wanted to take her little time, gingerly going across it. I'm here for it. That's how I am. It makes sense to me. I'm basically always learning, continuing. Which brings me to the Queen of Pentacles, which is the Get Your Money Queen card, right? This is the you're taking that time, you've put in your seeds, and now the money is coming. Be financially responsible. Make sure that those seeds that you've planted, you're putting them into responsible places. She is the responsible Queen of Pentacles. I get it. That makes sense to me. Make sure that your money is tight, your money is right, and because I am learning and constantly growing and learning new things, it would make sense that my money would be coming as well. I'm here for it, like I said. 7 of Swords definitely is a warning card, whether it's reversed or it's upright. I feel like the idea of making sure that I am protecting myself, protecting where I'm going. In reverse, there are, and we're in this energy right now, this being April 2024. If you know astrologically, we are all in this energy of making sure that our pockets are protected, that nobody's actually going in and taking stuff from us, and that we are working honestly, without deception, and so that we can help others as well. So this is definitely a warning card to stay true, stay honest, keep myself grounded in that truth and integrity, and to make sure that my pockets are protected. So these would be the 3 cards that I picked. It makes sense to me. But I have grown with my cards. I feel like as you go along with your readings, you tend to become more in tune with your cards, and that's with any deck. So now, as an example, I will read off what the book shows you for the 7 of Swords card. Okay, so you have your light seer. So if this had been right side up, I would have read on the light seer, deception or betrayal, taking only what's needed, the universe being witness to true intentions, getting away with something, being strategic, being grateful for the resources you have, moving silently and quickly. However, this one was upside down. It was in reverse. So we're on lying to yourself or to others, a need for perspective and honesty, secrets, something stolen, taking more than your fair share, being held back by imposter syndrome. Again, it really would make sense to me. I'm not going to even lie on that one. Traditionally, this card warns us that we must be on the lookout for deception, thievery, and betrayal. While we can sometimes find ourselves the victim of someone else's deceit, it's also a nudge to act in alignment with our own highest morality. Be sure you are being honest with yourself about the nature of your reality right now. Sometimes we pretend that everything is okay, or that we are doing the best we can even when we're not. Sometimes this shows up as recklessness or an avoidance of responsibilities. Take only what's needed, and remember that no excuse outweighs your ability to act from a place of love and integrity. You cannot deceive your own heart, and the universe will always bear witness to your truest intentions. For you alone and vulnerable under the light of the full moon. For you alone and vulnerable under the light of the full moon, the only thing that matters is the truth. Move forward with the lightness of conscience to guide you. And the affirmation: I act from a place of love and morality, and the universe witnesses my honest intentions. How's that? I love that. All right, so this again was the Light Seers Tarot. I have absolutely fallen in love with this deck. I am not going to lie. Even with, the tiny guidebook, I feel like I've been able to give very good readings for myself and for others. I wish that the box had been a little bit better, but I may get a box for myself, someone like my other box that I have for my other deck that I love, so that I can keep these cards, coming nicely, because they are getting used quite a lot. As always, I am Asia, the Soulful Creatrix. Come back for more reviews on tarot decks. And like I said, if it resonated with you and you would love to see more decks, feel free to leave comments below. I check the comments and I will get back with new decks as I get them. Until next time, I'm wishing you nothing but love, peace, and many continued blessings.